Hello everyone, my name is Andrew. After considering the arguments and the testimonies of both sides, I find in favor of the defendant, AU Bright Smile Stendhal. I do that for two reasons. Number one, for a private cause of action that HIPAA dictates, meaning an individual cannot bring any private cause of action against an healthcare facility. Only only the government can do that. And number two, the defendant did not disclose any individually identifiable health information. Now the issue here is safeguard and minimum necessity. According to the HIPAA law of 1996, the privacy rule standards address the use and disclosure of individuals' health information, which are called protected health information, by organizations subject to the privacy rules. These organizations is what known as covered entities. The privacy rule standards also establish the standards for individuals' privacy rights to understand and control other health information issues. Now there are two main things I want to focus on here. The privacy rule standards specifically addresses two things. Okay? How and what a covered entity, how can they disclose protected health information? And number two, the standards for an individual's right to understand and control how their information is being used. Okay. Now, the first one talks about protected personal health information, now otherwise known as the PIs. This consists of things that a reasonable person can use to identify a person. For example, name, race, sex, date of birth, social security numbers. These are protected individual information. Okay. The other end of this spectrum is the non-identifiable information, which are, for example, any information that cannot be used to identify the patient. Now, a red sticker is an example of a de-identified health information. Okay. Now, the HIPAA also established different permissions and uses for healthcare information. For a healthcare organization is permitted to use the information for treatment, payment, and healthcare at the provider's discretion. Since the law is so broad and it's not specific enough to decree how a healthcare provider should use that information, sticking a red sticker on a folder is within that discretion, is within that healthcare provider's discretion. Now, what is the minimum necessity? Okay. We have to look at the case at hand. Patient who has acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, and the interactions that the facilities workers will have with that patient. Now we have to balance out the patient's right to privacy with the safety and welfare of the healthcare workers. AIDS, as we all know, can be transmitted through body fluids. Okay? Example, blood. Everyone that is going to come into contact with that patient as far as treatment goes. Has a right to know that that patient does have AIDS. And that was the main purpose behind that. Not to label, not for everybody else to see, but as a set of practice to ensure safety for everyone involved. There's also a section in HIPAA that states the privacy rule does not require that every risk of an incidental use or disclosure of protected health information be eliminated. Yeah. Why does that specifically say that in the book? Because it's impossible to do so. If you try to eliminate every risk of an incidental use or a disclosure of protected health information, you're not going to be able to get any information across. Okay, we take that every day when we sign out our chart or pull up patients' records. Yeah. So in this incident, it was a necessity for the incidental use or disclosure of protected health information clause. Now, HIPAA used to be the standards for healthcare institutions, healthcare facilities, healthcare organizations, providers to live up to as far as the government is concerned. Any cases that were brought up before for HIPAA violations were for breaching the standard of care. This case here is not about breaching the standard of care. The standard of care is such a wide and broad platform that even a red sticker on a folder can fall into that. Yeah. And for those reasons provided, I think for the reason that I just provided, the plaintiff had failed to meet the burden of proof. I failed to prove that by seeing that red sticker, the defendant had failed the standard of care test. Thank you.